Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Ounce of Wisdom. I am Ben Blankenship, owner of Accuo Business Coaching and Advising. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Kelly Fry. Hey, Kelly.
Hi, Ben. I'm excited because today we will be joined by Eleazar Herrera. And Eleazar is the president and partner at Ethos Creative Studios in Charlotte. He was born in El Salvador and raised in North Carolina. He brings such a unique global lens and cultural insight to brand strategy.
Yeah, Eleazar and his team help organizations who are just getting started. They work quite a bit with organizations in growth mode and in scaling mode. And then throughout all of that, they help organizations with refreshing their brand, which needs to happen from time to time. And he is very passionate about food and travel and storytelling, which I think makes him uniquely equipped and qualified to help brands connect authentically with their audiences. And especially helping Latino food brands broaden their appeal, and then also helping develop brand value within Latino audiences. So I'm a big fan of Elazar's, and I'm looking forward to hearing his perspectives.
It's going to be a great conversation.
I think so too. Let's dig in. Eleazar, welcome to Ounce of Wisdom. We are so excited to have you with us today.
Very happy to be here.
So, Eleazar, a topic I want to explore with you today is about cultural authenticity. And the question I would like to explore is, how do you balance cultural authenticity with mass market appeal, especially when crafting campaigns for Latino food brands?
That's a great question. Culture is something that's super important when it comes to coming up with our marketing campaigns. So we're a branding and a marketing agency here in Charlotte. We work in multiple states and regions. So what we try to do when it comes to scale is really figure out first the market. Does it make sense? Generally, if as an example, we have an account in Missouri. Missouri is somewhere where it's going to be a little bit more of a traditional advertising style, which means that culture has to show in more traditional type advertising like billboards or radio. And radio is always a great example because radio tends to sometimes not hit the mark quite when it comes to how to approach the promos. They usually tend to go to very sometimes stereotypical sounds or sound effects or voices. So we try to steer them away from that. We try to give them a more modern twist so that it makes sense, it connects with the market, but also figure out the tone of voice that we're using with the brand. So, and that's one of the most important things that guides us in how to approach the advertising side is what is the tone of the brand? What are they trying to say? What's the message? Because some of these businesses, whether they're Spanish or English, trying to, reach to each vice versa the markets, they want to they have to have a direct message to their markets about what they're trying to accomplish. What is a connection? So besides even the language, whether it's English or Spanish that we're trying to use as our language, we have to first figure out what is the tone, what is the whole point, what is the communication they're trying to achieve.
I like it. And so it's the language that conveys the authenticity. How do you, like, it's interesting. So then how do you get at what the tone is, what the voice of the brand is? What kind of process do you use with your clients to really get at that? Because it, like, on the outside, it sounds simple, but what I know and what you definitely know is it's not that simple.
It's not. What we like to do is follow some traditional process when it comes to that. So we sit down with a client or marketing directors, and we really try to pick their brain. So there's some psychology that goes behind it. There's goals obviously that they have, but we have to figure out who are the right customers, who are the people they want in, what is it, the target demographics, and all these different variables help really zone in on what the message needs to be. And after that, it's the brand itself. Each brand is going to be different, and going back to culture, if it's a Peruvian concept versus a Mexican concept, the Spanish is going to be different. And then there's a such thing as American Spanish now. And so we have to figure out who that market is, because if you're trying to appeal to something like in Miami where the market is going to be more, a little bit more Cuban culture. There's going to be Puerto Rican culture. They're going to be very different than let's say LA, where LA is predominantly more of a Mexican market. So there's different phrasing, there's different cliches, there's different things that we have to think, because they can actually, some of the phrasing can say the wrong thing depending on the country.
That makes complete sense when you explain it that way. And not every Latino is the same. They don't come from the same place, right? And there's different cultures with different phraseology, and in some of those cases, depending on what you're saying, it could be offensive to one group and not another, or land differently, right? Man, I love that. That fits right in there with the being authentic with the message. Something else that you'd mentioned, and I think it's part and parcel to what you're talking about, is knowing your target market, knowing your target audience. And I would imagine that there's some clients that you work with where you step in and they want to jump to our branding message, but they haven't nailed down their target market yet. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. Most people, think that this is a very impulsive, thing to do. And we always tell them it's not. There's got to be there's a lot of planning that goes behind the scenes before you ever put anything out. So if you're doing an entire campaign, combination of TV, radio, billboards, digital, social media, all these things, you have to have you have to have a message that is fine-tuned way before this ever goes out. You have to make sure that what you're saying makes sense. And so, and again, it just, when I mean tone, I mean, is it something exciting? Is it something for a younger demographic? It's the type of music you're going to use in these campaigns. But the visuals are important too. That fonts, as an example, fonts can convey all of that. It could be exciting. It could be traditional. So you have to figure out really what the brand wants to do, and it goes both ways. So same for English or American companies that want to target Latinos, in these big markets, or even outside of the country. Back when I was in branding, studying marketing and branding at the university, we have there was a story about how Chevy came out with a campaign in Mexico for the Chevy Nova. Unfortunately, Nova, which is, I'm saying that a little bit in Spanish, translates to it doesn't go. So you don't want to sell a car that doesn't go, right? And so that's why it's important to make sure you have culture, included in your marketing campaigns, especially when you're trying to reach scale.
Eleazar, thank you so much for dropping so many nuggets of wisdom with us today about being authentic with your brand messaging, and really the things that you need to think of kind of upstream from that before you get to your messaging, right? To make sure that you're on track, and really underscoring the fact that the kind of work you do is not a quick or kind of off the cuff process, but it really requires some very deliberate planning and thinking in order to get there. Hey, I look forward to our paths crossing again soon, Eleazar. And until then, I hope you have a great week.
Hey, it's been great being on here, and best of luck to you guys as well. And, thank you again for having me on.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank you for joining us today for Ounce of Wisdom. We are so grateful to our experts and hope that this episode has been helpful to you. We'll be covering a variety of topics through our channel, so please take a minute to look around, like, share, and subscribe. Is there a topic you would like us to cover? Please comment below or reach out. Do you need help identifying pain points in your business? Check out our resources at www.acuo-bc.com. The link will also be provided below. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again on another episode of Ounce of Wisdom.